Today's episode is a game changer. A lot of people are saying this is the episode where the show is finally picking up for them. Myself, I've been enjoying this series so far, but I can't deny it. This was an action-packed episode with a lot of reveals. So let's just go ahead and jump into it with the first thing I wanted to talk about, which is Goku saying, "I do." Look at that smile. This is just Goku, classic Goku, excited to fight. And I really like the animation. Of course, everybody's going to be going crazy about this animation, but I like how you can see like the power pole was bendy. Thought that was pretty cool. The impact was felt, as you can see here. Boom. And then I like this little thing here whenever the hammer's coming back to the Tamagami 3. And Goku kind of does a flip over it. Very cool stuff. Then, of course, he breaks his hammer. So Goku does the cool twirl thing that he does with the pole. And then he throws it away and then fist fights him. And he says, "Come on, now let's get serious." I cannot wait to hear this in the English dub. I still haven't gone to see it yet. But of course, what more can I say about an action scene other than that I loved it? And then I think Glorio is looking on with that look in his eyes. He's kind of like amazed and surprised throughout the fight. But look at that look in his eyes. This is the look of a guy who I think is going to have a change of heart. I think right now he's working for Dr. Arinsu, but he's going to change his mind, and he's going to develop a certain loyalty for Goku, not only because he's powerful, but because he's kind-hearted and has a very simple outlook on life, you know? Goku doesn't want to rule, but maybe Glorio does. My new theory is that Glorio will become the Demon King, the Supreme Demon King, not Arinsu, not Goma, but Glorio. I think Glorio is going to get a bit of a moral compass thanks to Goku, and he's going to develop that because of Goku, and I think we're seeing the seeds of that here. Then, of course, Goku gets the Dragon Ball. Good for you, Goku. One thing I will say before we address the Arinsu Buu thing, which I'm going to talk about some leaks, but again, they are no longer big leaks, but there will be some big leaks, like I said, so I will give you a fair warning at the end of the video after the review, whenever I go into the leaks, that way you guys can know to click off the video. But yeah, I really like this. It was just very simple and fun. I do think that the little mini game that Tamagami 3 had was a little annoying. Not like in a bad way. I just think it was okay. It was fun. It was innocent. But if every Tamagami, I think, will basically have a mini game after the fight, I hope they're not all the same thing. And I don't think they will be. I think they will have the mind to switch it up. But yeah, I like this visual here. It kind of reminds me of Star Wars when they hold up the medals and stuff. Now, this is the big retcon that I know everybody's talking about. This show has given us lots of retcons. Now, of course, she's picking up the Majin Buu ooze into the canister there. So this show gives us a lot of retcons, and this is the next big one. Marba, who was leaked, if you've watched this video, this channel, you know about the leaks. I actually gave you guys a teaser at the end of the last review that this was going to be Marba coming up. I did not know it for certain, but based off of the reports from Geekdom 101 and other credible sources. But I think Geekdom 101 was basically the only one that gave this design away. But yeah, so, turns out Arinsu did in fact go during the Buu fight with Vegeta, gather the essence of Buu that was left over, and gave it to Marba to probably create some sort of Majin Buu clone. Now, a lot of people are probably going to be a little bit tired of the duplicates of the villains, because, you know, we had Golden Frieza, we had Cell Max, and now we're going to get some sort of new Buu character. Now, Dr. Arinsu says the last Majin couldn't even beat me. So, this tells me there is at least going to be one Majin that we haven't seen yet. Now, I don't know if she's saying this and she's already defeated him and they just threw him in the garbage can, or if he's around somewhere. I'm wondering if he's around somewhere. And if that's the case, then we could actually have a Majin Buu clone beta come and fight Goku. Goku defeats him, and then Dr. Arinsu is like, that wasn't even the final form. Boom. Then you get, you know, the new version that they're currently working on. So we also get the biggest retcon. So whenever I said a retcon of Dr. Arinsu being here, the biggest retcon is that Bibidi is not the one that made Buu. He's not even the one that found Buu. Buu isn't even immortal from time itself. He was created by Marba. That's right, Marba. So Dr. Ironsu says all he did was come to you and ask you to make Boo. And then Marba's trying to play it off like, I don't know what you're talking about, because the implication is that Boo ended up destroying most of the Glens, and then they just left to the outside world. Except for Ariansu and Degasu, they stayed. So I guess Marba doesn't want to be implicated in that. And that makes sense. Like she says here, he was incredibly powerful, but couldn't be controlled and went on a rampage. Now, of course, we know now that Boo actually had a kind, innocent, childlike heart that was easily manipulated. So Marba doesn't really see it that way, which is very interesting. Maybe she's talking about Kid Boo. I think that's... Okay, so I think that she's talking about Kid Boo. She doesn't have the knowledge of Fat Boo, or maybe they're going to use the knowledge of Fat Boo in creating this new Boo. And then, of course, they talk about using this Boo to defeat Goma, using the Dragon Balls to defeat Goma. As we know, Dr. Ariansu is working with Glorio, and Dr. Ariansu is secretly plotting against Goma, and she's thinking of using the Dragon Balls that Goku and Ko are gathering to her advantage. Then, of course, she says Goma may not look like much, but he's quite powerful, which is nice to hear. And then, of course, the ending of it is, of course, teasing Piccolo, Goku, and Vegeta and Bulma and the rest of everybody meeting up in probably not the next episode, but pretty soon. Vegeta wants to know more, and then of course the what's his name, Hibiscus. That's right, Hibis or Hibiscus. They're saying Hibiscus in the audio, and then the translations just say Hibis. But yeah, so I thought this was a little fun joke. So they're kind of threading the needle here. They're kind of making people aware that Vegeta is still part of the story. Piccolo, Bulma, they're still part of the story. They're just a little behind everybody else, but they'll get there eventually. And Hibis says that, you know, Vegeta, you're basically talking too arrogantly, and you're not even a king. And then Vegeta swallows his pride a little bit and says, please, which I thought was funny. And then, of course, the next episode is called Thieves, obviously implying that the thieves are going to be some sort of demon people. I guess you could say this is filler. I don't think this is a show that has filler because it's anime only. Every episode counts for the plot, but I do think we're going to get some thieves, so it's going to feel filler-like. I don't want to say it's filler yet, but I do think that I will be seeing a lot of people saying this episode is filler next week. Because, like I said, it's called Thieves. We may get some big moments. Like, we got some big moments in this episode. Like, mostly, like, for the first half of the episode, it was a really cool action fight, and then we got like the biggest retcons, the biggest reveals, the biggest information from this series almost so far. So, no, I told you they were retcons, but you're probably wondering, well, where does this original information come from that it's retconning? Let me get to that. So, this is an old interview that Toriyama did in the Sakio Jump 2014 June issue. My bad. Apologies there. I'm kind of fighting like my allergies. It's allergy season, right? So basically what happened was they did an interview, and the question was, how did Bibbidi make Majin Buu? What process was there? What were Boo's ingredients, etc.? Of course, we know, Marba is cooking some sort of Buu creatures up in a pot. But in this interview, Toriyama did not think that. He says, though in the manga Kaioshin said that Bibbidi made him, the truth is that one called Buu was not actually created by Bibbidi, which this part is true. He was not created by Bibbidi, but has existed since time immemorial. That part is not true anymore. He cycled between rampages and long hibernation. During numerous iterations of this cycle, he absorbed the evil elements of mankind, becoming steadily more violent. Bibbidi merely knew the means of calling Buu from out of his long slumber. Since the current Buu is a slightly different life form due to the changes brought about when the evil Buu was expelled, it's not known whether he'll still go into long hibernation. So, this tells me, of course, that this is not canon anymore, which I know some people got really attached to this lore in the interviews, but again, a lot of this interview lore is changing. Maybe Android 17 and 18 are no longer Lapis and Lazuli. Who knows? I mean, we still got time for those things to be retconned, but given this is Toriyama's last project, I do think that we need to take the sanctity of the Daima canon more serious than the interviews. Of course, this was at a different time. Toriyama maybe got some things in his head since then, and of course went a different direction with the lore. Now, you can go ahead and take it however you want to take it. Some people are kind of overreacting about this. I don't think it needs to be that serious. I think it was just a simple answer in an interview, and he went on to change it. Now, I'm also putting in the title, The Leaks Were Right. Well, what leaks were right? Again, now you can click off the video. Actually, before you click off the video, I want to give this episode an 8.5 out of 10. It was a really, 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 really good episode. All right. Now, for you guys that don't want leaks or spoilers, click off. So, I like this part of the video because we're actually going back to a video I did October 5th, 2024. This was coming from Geekdom 101, as you can see there. So, I don't know if this is exactly going to be what the new Majin characters look like. Now, Dr. Arinsu did say that she already made one and it was a failure. So maybe it's this one and then this one is the new one, because this one looks more like Boo. So it's probably made more from Boo's actual essence. And then again, like I was talking about in this video, you can see that if you look at the Cyberman next to him, you can see he's inspired by Cyberman. Geekdom 101 even said that. That was going over Nevo. And then here's Marba, and this was almost dead on. I mean, look at the accuracy of this image. It's pretty close. It's honestly a really good artwork. I don't think Geekdom ever credited the actual artist because, you know, if you're an artist and you're drawing leak stuff, I don't think you would want your name out there. But it looks really good. And yeah, so the leaks were right. Geekdom 101 was correct. I just wanted to give the credit where credit is due there. Anyways, guys, I think that'll be it for this video. I enjoyed the episode. I thought it was a really solid, fun episode. And I think they did the best that they could with what they had. It was a good script. It was a good animation team. Everything in this episode was basically perfect. You couldn't ask for a better episode. I mean, just look how cool that looks. That looks amazing. No notes. This episode looked amazing. It was written amazingly. I did say 8.5 out of 10. I think this is an episode that a lot of people are going to enjoy. I think this is where it's going to pick up for a lot of people. Like I said, though, for me personally, I've already been enjoying it. This is just icing on the top. What did they say? Cream on the top? Well, I don't know. I can't think of the saying right now, but you know what I'm saying. Anyways, guys, that'll be it for this one. If you enjoyed, make sure you leave a like, comment down below, and subscribe to keep up to date with all things Dragon Ball news and commentary. And I will see you in the next one. Peace off.